So before we actually start this video, one thing I really want to hammer in, ladies, men included, love your body, okay? Love what you have. And if you want to do improvements, hey, you want to go and slim down, hey, you want to go and bulk up a little bit more, do it the natural way, okay? That is just my recommendation. That's just my opinion on it, because we are going to get into the story of a woman who wanted to alter her body for a mommy makeover, as doctors do, which has like a tummy tuck and a breast lift. And she ended up losing her life over it. All right. I have an article and let's get into it. LA woman, 30 years old, dies after getting cheap mommy makeover plastic surgery to get a flat stomach and lifted breast in Mexico after paying just $4,000 for procedures that would cost $25,000 in the US. And yes, there is a thing, medical tourism. So I get why people do it, but there are certain price tags where one has to really look, scratch their lip, be like, I don't know if that's right. Okay. Not blaming anyone, but it is certain things that people need to do in terms of just overall research for certain topics, certain price points, and certain reviews. But let's get into this video. It says family members of a Los Angeles woman who died after getting a discount mommy makeover in Mexico have warned of the danger of plastic surgery. Tanquasia Williams, 30 years old, was tempted by images advertising perfectly enhanced bodies at cheap prices and decided to fly to Matamoros, Mexico, to undergo the plastic surgery procedure. Williams of Torrance, California, saved up $4,000 for the said mommy makeover, which includes a breast lift and a tummy flattening. A bargain price compared to the $25,000 sticker tag that it would cost in the United States. And yes, United States, our stuff, unfortunately, is more expensive than a lot of other countries, but still, you have to look at the average prices in other places and look at reviews as well. Plastic surgeon Dr. Orlando Villanueva was pictured with Williams on February 10th, 2024, which was the day of her surgery. However, Williams tragically did not survive the surgery, and her cause of death was listed as a rupture of multiple blood vessels of the thorax and muscular region of the abdomen. Heartbroken family members then learned shocking news from Mexican authorities about the doctor. This doctor was unlicensed, and the clinic was unlicensed. This is what Williams' sister said. Doctor doesn't have a license and the clinic doesn't have one either. Despite the tragic death of Williams at the hands of an unlicensed surgeon, the advertisements for this unlicensed clinic to this day continue to pop up on Facebook. Wow. Her family is now going public with her story to warn others about the dangers of traveling outside the country for plastic surgery. And that's the thing, like I say, and there's nothing wrong with medical tourism, but with cases like this, for example, you got to know, look at prices, look at the country you're going to, look at prices as well, and then look at reviews. If it says Orlando Villanueva is a sketchy dude and I had a ruptured spleen and something, maybe I don't need to be going to Villanueva. Maybe let me go over here to Nelson. Let me go and see what Nelson has. That's something that should be happening as well. But something I thought was interesting about the story, I was looking at it and I'm like, wow, a mommy makeover cost you your life. And I'm scrolling through and then I see Matamoros. I was like, Matamoros? Haven't I heard of that name before? Here's another article. Woman went to Matamoros, Mexico. She went for surgery for liposuction and a BBL. It was at Clinica K3. The amount was $3,000 for her procedure. She passed away from fungal meningitis. And it says the average cost for liposuction in the US was $3,637. This did not include anesthesia, the operating room facilities, or any other related expenses. The average cost of a Brazilian butt lift is $5,482. Surgeon fees can vary based on geographical location and etc. But here's the thing, and these numbers all came from the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, okay?
New tonight, a Texas health alert. Authorities are warning about a suspected fungal meningitis outbreak linked to surgeries south of the border. Officials have identified and closed 2 clinics in Matamoros linked to the outbreak and patients who received an epidural. The clinics are the Riverside Surgical Center and Clinica K3. Mexican authorities sent the CDC a list of more than 200 Americans who could be at risk. At least 15 of them are Texans, 2 of which have died from the infection. The CDC is advising anyone who had an epidural at either facility between January 1st and May 13th to get tested for meningitis as soon as possible.
So this lady paid $3,000 for something that really should be, without all the additional fees, $9,000 and up. I mean, you could be looking with operating costs, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you could be looking from $9,000 bare bones to maybe $15,000-$20,000 that you're paying, so just depending on what all this other stuff is, anesthesia, operating room, the facility, getting the person over here, what kind of doctor you're getting, because they charge you for everything in America. And that's you got that whole procedure for $3,000. That's also another thing that, people have mentioned or, you think about. And it's like, you got to look at the price. If it looks too good to be true, unfortunately, it probably is, But then I was thinking of another lady that went to Matamoros. And then her name was Rita Rodriguez, a 49-year-old mom of 3 in Texas, underwent a so-called mommy makeover at Matamoros Clinic. She found herself at death's door. So that's the thing about all of this. It's just overall being safe. Black women especially, we have the racial biases that come into play. They think that you have a lot of doctors who still to this day think that Black women and just Black people in general don't experience pain as much as someone who is not Black. This is what people are thinking, So you look at something like that, and then you look at these kind of stories, and it's like you can't just be putting your health out on the line. This is why when I started the video, I mentioned just if you're unhappy about something, whatever it is, maybe your arms are a little too flabby, maybe you have a gut like me, and stuff like that. I recommend, and this is just me, I recommend just doing the natural route of things. So if that means lifting weights for you, going on the treadmill, just overall eating healthier as well. I try to promote, for the most part, here and there, a healthy lifestyle for myself. Okay. So that's how I like to look at all that kind of stuff. All right. Just eating more greens. You don't have to go vegan. You don't have to go vegetarian, but eat more greens, have more vegetables, maybe get a juicer, get a blender, so you could go and make some drinks, stuff like that. Go on some walks. They recommend 10,000 steps a day. Get 10,000 in. I personally think people need to be more around the 12 to 15,000 if you can for that extra 3, but it is what it is. Try to get up, get active, move around, just try to do things that are natural. You could do some squats, you could do some leg lifts, whatever the case may be. If you want to go and do a martial arts, if you have the money for that, you can do that as well. But putting your life on the line for, a cosmetic surgery, essentially. And I get it, low self-esteem can be associated with, how you look at your body and what your body looks like and what you perceive it to look like. But at the end of the day, really with this, it's upsetting that and the other ladies lost their lives for the procedures. Obviously, this is not blaming them at all. This is just saying for the next person, as the family is saying, just be more aware, do more research, plan it out a little bit more, because there's nothing wrong necessarily with medical tourism. You just have to do your research. Even with in America, you got to do your research. That's how I feel about it. But let me know what you all think down below.